Five, four, three, two, one.
Welcome. You are listening to Seth Mindcast.
Hello and welcome, G's, to the 8th episode of Seth Mindcast, and really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking your time and your mindset and coming here to Seth Mindcast to learn something. So with no further ado, let's get into the story. Once upon a time in the dense forest of ancient China, there lived two wolves. One was named Ying, which means shadow, and the other was Ming, which means bright. They were brothers born from the same litter, but as different as night and day. Ying was a cunning and furious wolf. He was driven by the primal instinct, always seeking to dominate and conquer whatever crossed his path. He roamed the forest with a fierce determination, never hesitating to attack and assert his dominance over weaker creatures. On the other hand, Ming was gentle and wise. He possessed a keen intelligence and a compassionate heart. Ming believed in harmony and cooperation, preferring to live peacefully alongside the other creatures of the forest rather than dominating them. As the boarders grew older, their differences became more apparent. Ying grew stronger and more aggressive, while Ming honed his skills of diplomacy and understanding. The two wolves often clashed over their conflicting ideologies, with Ying advocating for power and dominance, and Ming advocating for compassion and empathy. One day, a great famine struck the forest, leaving many of its inhabitants starving and desperate. Food became scarce, and tension ran high amongst the creatures of the forest. Sensing an opportunity, Ying saw this as a chance to assert his dominance and seize control over the dwelling resource. Ying began to prey upon the weaker animals, using his strength and cunning to overpower them and claim their food for himself. His actions sparked fear and resentment amongst the other creatures, leading to chaos and conflict in the forest. Meanwhile, Ming took a different approach. Instead of hoarding resources for himself, he sought to help those in need. Ming shared what little food he had with the other animals, offering them shelter and protection in their time of need. He believed that by working together and supporting each other, they could overcome the challenge they faced. As the famine raged on, the forest became a battlefield, torn apart by the strife and discord. Ying's ruthless pursuit of power only fueled the flames of conflict, while Ming's acts of kindness and generosity served as a beacon of hope for those who were suffering. In the end, it was Ming's psychology of compassion and cooperation that prevailed. Slowly but surely, the creatures of the forest began to unite against Ying's tyranny, standing together in solidarity against his aggression. Despite his strength and cunning, Ying found himself isolated and outnumbered, his region of terror coming to an end. In the aftermath of famine, peace was restored to the forest, thanks to Ming's unwavering commitment to the values of empathy and understanding. The creatures of the forest learned that true strength lies not in domination and control, but in compassion and cooperation. And so, the legend of Ying and Ming, the two wolves of China, lived on as a reminder that in the end, it is always the wolf you feed that wins. Excellent story. I was overwhelmed by this story. And let me take you to the rabbit hole of this story. This story actually is about two wolves which live in your mind. One is good and the other is bad. They are both tied with gold chains in your mind. One has to win and live, the other has to starve and die. Now, it's science and it's the law and it's whichever route you take to understand this, it's basically now proved that one positive thought would drag 15 positive thoughts to it. So if you dwell upon one thought, okay, let's take a thought as, very modern, very classic, of buying a new BMW M4. And then your mind would tell you, okay, what color does it have? It has pure white color. Okay, what seat does it have? Black leather seats. Modern UI interface. Different classic expensive felgies. Felgies are mag wheels. So you know what's happening? One BMW thought is attracting more to it. The more you go into the rabbit hole of that BMW, the more your mind pulls the thoughts of like-mindedness, right? So taking this story into consideration, same thing happens with the negative thoughts. As I said, it's a Japanese saying, you can entertain all the thoughts you have in a day, like 1,000,000 thoughts you'll have in a day, but you only serve tea to the positive ones. You don't serve tea to every thought. So the bigger the positive bowl of thoughts, consume yourself for 24 hours. Consume yourself with that one goal you really want to achieve and keep adding to that thought. Keep adding to that thought. And it becomes so powerful, you really feel it. You really feel that. So here we are with this story. I hope you have gained a little bit of knowledge of which wolf would you feed from now on. The negative one should always starve and die. You don't entertain that. It's a really beautiful story I wanted to share with you on Seth Mindcast. So anytime you have thoughts, something is disturbing you, something is not right, you ask yourself one question. Which wolf am I feeding? Which wolf am I feeding? Am I feeding the right one? And very naturally, if you think that everything is a vibration, right? A BMW is a vibration. A MacBook Air is a vibration, right? The water bottle in front of you is a vibration. An iPhone is a vibration. If you see through a strong telescope, everything is vibrating in a frequency. Coming to a very basic physics is like attracts like. So the moment you start giving strength to your white wolf, the moment you realize that you are feeding Ming of your story, you are feeding the right wolf, slowly but slowly, the Ying would leave your brain. And this ball of positivity becomes so stronger that it becomes automatic for you to manifest things in your life. Do I sound like a saint? But this is what I've read, and this is what I really want to know. Right? No matter I sound like a saint, that's fine. But the bigger attention you give to Ming, the bigger he's going to become. And Ying, the bad wolf, will die. Wait for the wolf to die. Just continue this every day without any conscious efforts. Just don't think about it. Just keep feeding the right wolf. There will come a time that without positivity, you would not survive. And once that is there, all the positive things happening in a day would be attracted to it. It's beautiful. Trust me, it's beautiful. Be it you say it karma or you say it whatever it is. In every religious book, everywhere, there's this same thing. But whatever you call it, whatever you're comfortable with, you can call that. But there comes a time when the white wolf, the snow, gets so big that all the positive things happening in a day, there are positive and negative things both happening in a day. You'll only be attracted towards the positive things because you are positive. You know what it'll do? If you go more into the rabbit hole of this story, it's going to clear your conscience, right? If you do wrong to something, the positive wolf will tell you, no, this is wrong. And you will stop yourself there saying, just for a little bit of money, I'm doing wrong to this guy. Or maybe harming this guy. No, we don't want to do it. And living this way turns beautiful, turns amazing. And you kind of start living with yourself with harmony, saying, I have no regrets. right? Absolutely beautiful story. I hope this helped you. And leave a comment and tell me how you feel about this story. And if there are any changes, questions, comments, or observations, leave me a comment. I know we are just three and I'm just talking to a camera, but then that's fine. We'll grow in time. No problem. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.